Well, hello there. Welcome to another J&J Tabletop video. My name is Jake, and today we're going to be talking about a spell change in the 2024 rules update, specifically with Blade Ward. We're going to talk about what's the same, what's different, my overall analysis as to what you can expect the effectiveness of this spell to be, and then I'm going to talk about some of my recommended uses. Let's get started. What hasn't changed with Blade Ward is it's still an abjuration cantrip. It still targets you, and it has a verbal and somatic component. It also still uses your action to cast. Now, the difference sets in when you realize that this now lasts for 1 minute, and it uses your concentration. And the effect of it is, rather than giving resistance to bludgeoning, piercing, and slashing damage for 1 round, attack rolls against you incur a D4 penalty for the entire minute or until someone breaks your concentration. I think it's easy to see why many will call this a buff to Blade Ward. It is effectively a 2.5 point increase to your armor class. Sorry, Shield of Faith. However, I think the opportunity cost is still something that you should consider when just going to this well very often. It still takes your action, and it still occupies that concentration slot. We love talking about the action economy here at J&J Tabletop, and in fact, we have an entire series dedicated to it. Anything that uses your action is something that should make progress in the fight. Now, this can do that. However, rather than taking out another enemy action or hindering their actions or maybe buffing a bunch of your party's actions, you're using this defensively. So you are effectively extending the length of combat by choosing to do this. Now, don't get me wrong. I think this spell certainly has its uses, and I think there are 3 situations that you should strongly consider using it. First and foremost, if you have any kind of a preparation phase and that you know that in the next minute you're going to be in a fight, this is a really nice option because it's not taking an action in the middle of combat to use. I also think that if you're in a situation where you're surrounded by a bunch of enemies, and perhaps this one action of yours might render multiple enemy actions ineffective, I think that's another situation where you strongly should consider it. And then last but not least, if you're in a situation where you just can't find an enemy to target, maybe you don't have a way to buff your allies, or maybe there's just nothing else better that you can do with your action, I think this is another fine example to set you up for success for the rest of the combat. But I want to hear what you think about Blade Ward. Do you like these changes? Do you think there are other uses that I missed? And then also, we've got the Action Economy series right here that if you want to dive into the theory of how you can best dominate that exchange, I would recommend it. Thank you so much for watching, everyone. Take care.